Okay, ready?
What show? That was that 70s show with Donna. I'll show you my bra strap. To the teenage boys. This is like the most uninteresting bra strap you've ever seen.
You can basically see
black.
I know we're recording, but I mean,
This is a great intro. I'm leaving all of it.
yeah, it's all going in there.
Hello, hello, my name is Shalana Battles and I am the author of 3 books, and this is going to be another book club video. I have Alexys with me today and Stephanie, which is amazing because I live all the way in Colorado, but I'm down in Arizona visiting, and so we thought it would be fun to talk about Fourth Wing all together since we're never together. What did you hold up?
I held up my notes. So here.
Yay! Okay, so I want to preface this by saying this is definitely a spoilers video. We've all finished the book. We will talk about all parts of the book, so if you haven't read this, or you don't want spoilers, or you're halfway through, whatever the case may be, watch this once you're done with the book, or if you're a person that knows you're not going to read it. So I think we're going to start with initial thoughts on Fourth Wing. Do one of you guys want to go first?
I was just doing like out of how many stars we're giving it, or
spices.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do stars, spices, and just like overall kind of elevator pitch it, how you felt about it.
Okay, I think Stephanie should go first because she
I
has
have
written down
because she has
she's
my
the
notes.
most organized fucking person I've ever met in my life.
You should see my desk.
So
yeah, it's
Stephanie
not.
should go first.
So I took notes as I was reading.
Of course.
Well, and to say, I don't know how, like, you should, oh, mine's only out of 4 stars on here, but I'm such a 5 stars whore. I give, like, everyone a 5 star, so, like, I don't know. I don't know if that means anything, but I gave it a...
Everything is good.
I like, feel bad. Like, I give everything a 5 stars when I rate it.
Didn't you think you gave a book 5 stars and you're like, oh, I gave
this
this 4 stars?
Yeah. I did 2.5 out of 5 spices, which is probably high on your guys' standard of spices, but...
No, out of 5.
Out of 5, 2.5 spices.
I read dark romance.
Yeah.
I read all romance.
But, so this is
Historical
probably,
romance.
I guess you would consider Harry Potter fantasy. So I've read Harry Potter series, but I haven't read, this was like my first go at fantasy, and I saw it on Instagram saying, oh, well, if you like romance and you like fantasy, read this. So I was like, okay, I'll do that.
Go for it.
Yeah. But, and I was like, well, it has dragons, and dragons are pretty cool, but I really loved it. I think it was at chapter 8 where I had to stop reading and talk to somebody about it. And I can, like, usually get through books without having to, like, say something to somebody, but I was like, oh my gosh, I need someone to talk to about this book. I have so many feelings. Team Zayden. The end.
That's it.
That's all my thoughts. Okay, let's...
Oh, you want me to go? Okay, I would agree that it's a 2 out of 5 spicy. You know, they came a little late in the game, but they were there. And they were like, not like over graphic, which I love. I can't really say that. I do love over graphic. But for the book,
this is not erotica.
For the book, they were perfect, I feel like. And I feel like just a 2 out of 5 is a good, you know. Out of 5 for the book as a whole, I give it a 3. I'm
out of 5.
Out of 5. A 3 out of 5. That is not like
You're not a 5 whore.
I usually I can be. I really judged this book because I have read more fantasy that I was basing it off of. I'm a Neil Gaiman girl. I'm Harry Potter. I've read The Hunger Games. I've read so much fantasy, I think, and I also think that this is a flaw of mine, that I was thinking so critically while we read this book and comparing it to the other fantasies that I've read, that I've loved since I was little. Because, you know, when you read things and you're younger, that sticks with you. That's what you're really basing a lot of stuff on. And I think that if I had just read this and just, you know, let my mind open, it wouldn't be so low. I feel like I can definitely see why people like it so much and why it's so popular. I'm not going to talk about book talk today, but I really enjoyed, once I kind of got out of my head, I really kind of just was like, oh, this is what it is. It's not going to change. I just need to deal with it. You know what I mean? So
I get that.
That's how I
No,
felt.
and
I knew there was going to be some cringes when I said 3, but
no, and you and I had talked about that because I had mentioned, like Stephanie said, I'm not a fantasy girly. I've not read a lot of fantasy, and so I had nothing to compare this to, which I think was great for me because I loved this book, and this will be like my standard going forward, I guess.
yes. Yeah.
Because I didn't have anything to like gauge this off of. I'd agree with both of them on the spice level. Like I said, I read a lot of dark romance, and so that, I mean, it's comparing apples to oranges, right? This isn't that, and so I would agree with that. And shoot, overall, I don't know, I'd probably give it a 5, only because I wouldn't, if I'm looking at this from an editing perspective, I wouldn't rate it that high. If looking at it from writing style, I wouldn't rate it that high. Not that I don't love you, Rebecca Yarros. I do.
Yeah.
I read a lot more of her books than this one, and I've always loved them. But I think I base my 5s more on like emotional reaction to a book. And I wasn't editing this. I'm not nitpicking like writing style and all of that. But emotional reaction, yeah, that was a 5 for me. I was entertained the entire time, loved it, rushed through it. I listened to the audiobook of this, so for me it was like a very different experience. I haven't cried listening to a book ever, and reading a book, I don't think I did. You cry? You didn't cry? My God. Yeah.
I did.
We told them there was
I know. I did tear up because I really loved Liam.
Yes.
It was tough to listen to that.
So
happen.
I didn't remember you had said,
Did you cry?
let me know when you cried.
Yes.
But I did. Because it was the day of, so I was like, yeah. But
Oh.
yeah.
But I also feel like the audiobook made that difference for me. Had I been reading this, I don't think that reaction would have been as strong as it was, but because I was hearing it, it was very powerful. So I would stick with my 5.
Yeah, and also I was talking to my other friend about it, and she was like, you're kind of coming at it because you're writing book. I'm writing book. Kind of.
Writing.
Writing, yes. Kind of. Okay. She's like, you're kind of in that mindset of, oh, you kind of have to be critical of this writing. Yes. And I was like, yeah, I can definitely see that, because from that standpoint, I was like, the writing was a little off for me, personally, and that's why so you're getting kind of like
3 perspectives.
Yes.
But it is hard to turn that off when you are writing your own stuff or editing someone else's. I noticed a huge shift in how I read books. All books, not just this one. Yeah. Your mind starts to pick up on things. Like, I even texted you, I don't remember what I was reading, but I was looking for editors for my own book, and I was like, I found 3 mistakes in this already. I'm not hiring this person. And so your brain is kind of trained to find those things when you're writing when you're editing. Yeah, so it kind of takes away from it if you can't shut it off.
Yeah. Right. I'm very surface level, so
3 perspectives.
Yeah.
You need
all 3.
Yeah, it's like
exactly.
kind of like my main thing is like, I'm just reading to distract myself. Like, I just want to like go someplace else. So
yes. Yeah.
You fully immerse.
Yeah.
And that's usually me too. And I think
that's the goal, right?
Yeah. And I think it truly is because I've just become more critical of myself. That when I read things now, I'm like, oh, that could have been changed. This could have been different. You know what I mean? Right. And it's just, I'm like, I need to get out of that space, obviously. But
it's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay, any final things before we talk about questions?
Team Zayden.
Team Zayden.
Fuck Dane.
I hope a dragon eats Dane. Also, yes to that.
You know who I'm just thinking about that is someone honorable mention is Jasenia.
Okay.
Yes, because she's the
scribe.
That's my question.
Written by her.
because I was not thinking about this until I started Iron Flame, and how it talks about all of this is like narrated by her.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that's foreshadowing for everybody dies?
I think it's foreshadowing for the fact that this exists, that nothing like catastrophically bad happens, because technically it exists.
She described she was able to
right?
do it.
You know
okay,
what I mean?
I could see that. I went to a dark place.
Yeah, but it could mean everybody died because, you know, heroes live on in stories like this, especially in this world, you know? That's why the scribes
Well,
exist.
and then it says something about, like, names are intact to, like, honor the
the sacrifices that they made or whatever.
Yeah.
The following text has been faithfully transcribed from Navaran into modern language by Jacinia Nailmart, curator of the Scribe Quadrant as the Zgaif War College. All events are true, and names have been preserved to honor the courage of those fallen. May their souls be commended to Malik.
Funny.
Which doesn't technically mean everybody dies, but like Liam.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
That's
Some
a good
people
point.
did
I
die.
forgot that they had put Jacinia here.
yes. And it's in Iron Flame too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I just opened Iron Flame today.
I'm on chapter 30.
They're done.
She's
I'm
done.
I'm in the
She's
middle.
halfway through it. I'm at the beginning, so.
We're getting there.
not the broken heart.
I said nothing. So.
You'll see it when you watch the video.
Okay, what do you got?
Oh, questions. Okay. So the first question, it says, there were a lot of reveals towards the end of the book. Xaden and the Separatists, aiding the enemy, Venon's not being a fable, and Brennan being alive. There was a lot of foreshadowing within the book. Which of these did you see coming? If any.
I think I knew something was going on with Brennan.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say I knew he was going to be alive, but like they had mentioned him so much and mentioned specifically that he had been gone for 6 years,
Yes.
multiple times. So I'm like, okay, where are we going with this?
Yeah, either he's alive or he's like something happened that wasn't real. I figured it was like he didn't die the way they said he died,
There's
or
like a
something
cover-up.
else happened when he died that was like connected to the rebellion or something. And that's what I thought the reveal was gonna be, but
And then I also wouldn't say I knew about like the fables being true, but I also thought, okay, something is going on with that. I think she alluded to it well enough, not that you could guess, but that you like thought about it, because her dad gave her the book
and the note
and the note.
that.
Then Yesenia couldn't find it like in the archives. So I knew it had to mean something. I just didn't know what it meant.
Yeah, it was the same with saying, you know, Xaden has some secrets. I was like, well, there's going to be some secret, but I had no clue about anything. So,
yeah.
but
I also think, and this is not
Yeah.
like, again, and we talked a little bit about it, I think we would have, well, I think we would have benefited now from Xaden's point of view. It's clear why she didn't, because there was so much that he knew that you as a reader are not supposed to know.
oh,
Right.
Until
a
the
totally
very
different
end.
story. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? No?
I don't think so.
Okay. Do you think Xaden was justified in keeping his secret? If not, when was the appropriate time for him to tell Violet? If yes, was it fair of Xaden to ask Taryn to keep the secret too?
Xaden can do no wrong. So, I will die by that statement.
Xaden has never done anything wrong in his entire life. And he never will.
And he never will.
I think keeping the secret, yes, because he has those 100+ lives.
Yeah. Like,
At
when was he
stake.
going to tell her?
That he's
Yes.
responsible for.
He's responsible for them.
And
But-
she, like
Yeah.
Stephanie said, she made it so it's like, when would the opportunity be? They never really had, like...
I guess before the Griffin Rider showed up, but that was a day early, so.
Yeah. And on one hand, it would have made Violet and Xaden's relationship easier. I think it would have made, for a lot of not as much miscommunication between them, but also that means the author would have had to deal with Dane. Sorry,
being the reader.
I forget his name because I hate him so much. Dane knowing that too because he read her, obviously, spoilers. He read her thoughts or whatever.
Yeah.
So I can see why she didn't want to deal with that as a writer, because that would have been just a whole other thing. But again, as not someone who's not a fan of like the miscommunication, keeping secrets just to keep secrets kind of thing, I was like, they didn't.
But I also feel like she had it in play. Like, there's that level of believability too, and it's like, I feel like the way the events happened, like her just like being confronted with all of this in that battle scene, like had a very different like effect than if he just like sat down and told her. I feel like she wouldn't have believed him, and then so I just feel like she almost, the author had to do it that way.
Yeah, I could see that.
The Brennan thing, I don't know. That one did me more salty than
the whole rebellion thing.
Yes.
But her. Yeah, I think as Violet, I would be more upset that he knew Brennan was alive and doing all of this than
because I do
keeping his little group secret or helping the people secret, or because that's her brother. Sorry.
And I feel like that's an area he could have told her. He could have like, even if it was like, hey, I can't explain any of the things surrounding this, but you're surprised your brother's not dead. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Thoughts? Any thoughts?
Zayden
can do no wrong.
I actually wrote one that kind of on the same question, and I have like a follow-up question to that question.
Okay.
Was Violet naive to protect the rebellion? Like just knowing how
to protect.
to protect
I just meant
it.
naive in general.
Well, she's kind of naive in general.
Both of us nodded.
That was
Yes,
at,
she's
like,
naive.
that was at the beginning, because how she grew up with Dane and the Atos and the general. Like she grew up like enmeshed in that. For her to just like protect, I mean, I'm glad she did, because Zayden can do no wrong.
But it was ingrained in her not.
Yeah.
I think that also speaks to her heart, kind of, though.
Yeah.
With her not wanting to kill anybody when she first started. When her, like, freaking out after she killed that other fuck. God, I'm so sorry.
Fucking Jack Barlow.
Yes. Like, she killed him. I think that and, like, I'm not the biggest, like, Violet girly, but I love that she never kind of, like, compromises herself to be something she's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she stayed true to herself pretty much the whole time.
Yeah. And that included going and fighting those people, or fighting the venom and helping those people. But I do think she's naive in a lot of other aspects.
Yeah,
of her life.
in general, yeah, she's naive.
It's really showing an Iron Flame.
So much.
Yeah, spoilers. That's not really a spoiler.
But-
But she's naive in the first one. But
naive
they're
the whole
young.
time.
She's
Yeah.
like 20 years
That's
old.
what I was gonna say. I feel like the three of us,
She's 21.
21, okay.
Yeah. So put that into perspective for people that are reading this. We're like a decade older than her, and so
Yes.
when-
I'm only 22,
Yeah, I'm just a girl.
Right.
No, I feel
Not
like
yet a
I feel
woman.
like, yeah, not yet a woman. I feel like that it does make a difference now that we're in our 30s reading things, and I always take it with a grain of salt, because like I'm like, oh, I could definitely judge this person a lot more harshly, but also I was once that age.
I was once
probably
20,
making
yeah.
stupid fucking decisions.
right.
And I think one instance of that is like, for all you Game of Thrones fans, it's Sansa Stark. I feel like she's judged so harshly, but people forget that she's supposed to be fucking like 14 in the first season, and I'm like, you don't know what you would have done at 14 in that situation.
The worldview that you have is so drastically different.
Exactly. And I think that's something a lot of people don't think about when they're consuming media. It's easy to judge, especially younger girls, for doing the things that they do, but you have to kind of think past it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and I think the author did a great job of like showing that, and especially when you get further into Iron Flame, you'll see that Violet's age versus Xaden's age. There's a maturity in Xaden, and she wrote that really well, in my opinion, to show, like, what is he, 3-4 years older than her, so look about 25 maybe.
Yeah, I thought he was 24.
Yeah, and I think she wrote that really well, but yeah, Violet has a,
But again, she's 20.
but she's
21.
So
Yeah.
keep that in mind. If you're reading a little bit older than her, like us, or even older than us, or if you are like a younger reader in your teens, early 20s, you may find that you relate to her more than we do.
Just, if you're older, give her some grace.
Give her some grace. You were there too once.
Exactly.
Do you have more questions?
Let's see. Well, I have, what was your favorite part of the book? Which is probably a good question, but that's kind of a tough
That's
one
a
to
hard
pick, like, your favorite.
I have one.
Okay.
My favorite part of the book is when she protects Andarna. When she gets attacked. And like I was very much like, again, it was hard for me to kind of get through there, but that scene, again, showing Violet's morals and showing where she's gonna stand no matter what. When
Even if it
3
killed her.
people are coming at her, she's still
Yeah.
protecting Andarna. She's still doing that. And I think that really kind of made me even more into the book. It
I like
took
that.
halfway through.
To get
But
you there.
Yeah.
I got there.
Once you got hooked.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think it's so funny
I'll
that
finish.
it didn't have any romance in it. It was like,
Yeah.
that's the scene.
That's the scene
Yeah.
Get it together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Xaden was there.
Yeah.
He was watching. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do it, babe.
The heart of
believe
it,
you.
yeah.
I mean, I loved all the dragons. Anytime they opened their mouths
Yes.
or communicated telepathically,
Taryn's good.
I loved all of that. I really did like, and it's funny too, like what Alexa said, because it's not like a romantic scene, but whenever she found her own way across the gauntlet, and she talks about that again later in Iron Flame, which is what I think triggered that for me. But I like it because, again, it speaks to her character and like her unwillingness to give up and to adapt when she needs to, and like all the other things too that she does to be able to like stay on her dragon, and just like this perseverance in her. So I liked those scenes. And even whenever, like Alexis said, people are coming at her like, you can't do that and you can't do this, she used the world she was raised in, like the codex and the rules and stuff, but manipulated it to work for her, like poisoning her opponents. And so I liked that because it really did speak to like that level of like strength and like, I will persevere regardless of what's put in front of me.
Yeah, scribes have all the power. So I guess mine will fit what's on the top of my head that would kind of fit into the romance element. So I really like the sparring between Violet and Xaden.
That was a cute scene.
Yeah, that was fire.
Yeah.
But it also does speak to her character because she keeps going. She doesn't give up and is trying to like, oh, we'll try something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked the sparring.
And Imogen too, she grew on me a lot with the sparring and like helping her
Yeah.
train. And
I think it's so funny that, and disclaimer, we're romantic girlies. Like,
through
we
and
don't
through,
like-
hardcore.
We don't like it if there's not a happy ending. So for us to pick scenes from that's like nothing to do with Xaden is
very,
kind of funny.
very weird.
It's kind of funny and weird, yeah. But yeah.
Okay, what else you got? Or you? One of you.
I have a most surprising moment. That was one of the journal.
Journal ones.
What's your most surprising moment?
I think I'll pick, because I may have been writing this as I was going, but I have Betrayal of a Best Friend as the most surprising.
I definitely get that.
But
And I
I
guess that
I guess my question to that is, did Dane really know? Did he have any clue? Because I
about-
feel like he could have been manipulated by his
Right.
dad.
How much does he actually know?
Yeah, or did
Yeah.
he have a choice type of thing? But yeah, I think that one's the best one of my most surprising moments is the betrayal of a best friend.
But I think it was his choice to take her memory, and it was his choice to share what he figured out. even if he didn't understand like the implication of what he was sharing or like how it would affect them, like he could still be in the dark, but those specific choices were his, and that's what I think.
I think a fun one is what if you were part of the college, what quadrant would you be in? I guessed Alexys yesterday.
All know your guys'.
Yeah, so I am 100% a scribe, and I almost wore my ivory, but I wanted to do my hair like violet, so I'm wearing my Rider Blacks, but I am total archivist
scribe
nerd. So
that's what you
scribes.
No healer.
And we have all the power, so.
Right?
What?
Am I
Do
right?
you think I'd be a healer?
That's what
Yes.
that's
I
what
wrote
guessed.
you as a healer.
That's what Stephanie would put me.
thought
I
you'd be
think
a
I'd be a
healer.
healer.
You are
too.
in encampment, and I did a great
I
job.
know, you did do a great job. Yes, I'm in encampment. In case you guys didn't know.
They both
Yeah,
I'm the
think
animal wrangler.
I would like to be a scribe, but I mean, there's no way I'm a writer. Come on. But yeah, I think I would be in the healer quadrant. I think I would be a pretty good healer. I think.
You would.
What would you be?
I don't. What would I be? That is the question. Do you have an opinion?
I think you'd be a scribe.
I have
with
an
me.
opinion, but I want you to say what you.
No,
would be.
I want to hear your opinion.
I think you'd be a scribe too. I
Okay.
think you'd be a good scribe.
I think realistically, in the real world of Fourth Wing,
Yes.
I would be a scribe.
Yeah, but like in our heads, we're all writers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I wouldn't have made it. I would have died.
I would be a
Day
I would
3.
be a dragon. Let's just be honest.
I would definitely pick dragon.
Because
It'd
what
be
is
a
it?
cool
It's scribes,
teen
healers,
dragon.
and then it's infantry and riders. It's just the 4 quadrants.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's in the Iron Flame book. I don't think it's in this book.
Because I think it's
Just
those
the map
4.
is in this book. Huh?
Because this has
Healer,
the healer quadrant,
infantry. Riders, academic wing. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
I feel like maybe that's another like book. I feel like the infantry is really underrepresented, but I mean I know you can only talk about so much without it just like becoming incoherent.
so overwhelming.
Yeah. Was it in? Did they mention the infantry, or am I thinking Iron Flame?
I think they mentioned
kind of
it
are
in
like
here, but briefly.
they're like
No,
infantry sucks. Don't go there.
No,
kind of.
they have to work together, but I think that's Iron Flame.
That's Iron
That
Flame.
doesn't spoil anything, but yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
one of their lessons is they have to work together with the infantry. They don't get along, so yeah.
Yeah,
So it
that's
comes
the
in the
map of
second
the
book.
college.
Yeah.
Infantry's down here.
Mm.
Healer, riders,
But
squad.
and I think that may also be like liking the scribes a lot how well Jasenia is written.
Mm. But also how
And
much
they're
like
friends, and then Violet was raised to be a scribe,
yeah,
trained
and
to
her
be a
dad
scribe.
was
Yeah,
a scribe,
so
and her mom sucks. I can already tell.
she's got mommy issues. Well, she's got daddy issues
Who
too.
doesn't?
Daddy issues is the basis for
Got all the
everything. So
Okay, what do you got?
Oh, next one. It's a good one. It's also okay. Why do you think the author chose to write the last chapter from Zayden's perspective? How did you feel about it?
because Zayden's the goddamn best. That's why.
Zayden can do no wrong.
Zayden can do no wrong. Oh my gosh.
That's not a substantial answer, is it?
I definitely have an unpopular opinion, so I'll go last.
Well, let me formulate my opinion if you
Yeah.
want to
because I'm actually was just listening to that because I'm listening to the dramatic listening that has 2 parts, and because she is still unconscious
Yes.
at the beginning of this chapter, so to kind of build up to, oh yeah, she's not quite better yet, that it's somebody else's voice, because you don't really know if she's going to get better.
Well, and then I also think like
And then you get to hear Sigale. Like, I'm here. I always want to hear Sigale's thoughts all the time.
and I think too, like how Alexys had mentioned earlier, there was so much, like she couldn't really write in his point of view the entire book because the readers were in the dark.
Yeah.
And so giving him that last chapter was kind of, I think, a way for us to see like, okay, how has he processed all of the events up to this point? And she crammed a lot in there.
I do love the top of the chapter. It's 39. the quote, it's "You're all cowards." The last words of Finn Ryerson redacted, so that's the last word his dad said, which is killer.
Yeah.
Especially knowing what you know now about
Yeah.
everything.
What's your thing, Alexys?
It's an
I
unpopular opinion.
love Xaden, obviously. But
Ivy.
I kind of hate when books are written from one person's perspective the whole time. And then all of a sudden, because they're unconscious, because they're whatever, it's like somebody else's.
You're like, I don't care what the reason is.
Yeah, I'm like, kind of like, okay, now I have to read it from this guy's point of view.
No.
dude.
I agree with you. You know how I feel about epilogues.
Yes.
That set up the next book.
Exactly, yes.
I can
And she
give-
hates them.
Yes.
But so I was like, okay, I gave it a chance. And I was like, I understand why she did it, because it's hard to go from, oh, everything's happening from Violet's point of view. She's unconscious, what do I do now?
Right.
Right?
I wrote myself into a corner.
Yeah. And I feel like she could have gone like third person after that instead of first person, and just written like what was happening around Violet. I think it would have had more impact for the Brennan reveal if it was from Violet's point of view.
What
That's
did
my opinion.
this is random, but what did Breaking Dawn do? Did you read Breaking Dawn? No. Okay.
Is that the Twilight?
It's
Yes.
the only one I do.
The only one.
Twilight.
Well, because there's
Oh.
a chunk of time where she's unconscious, but I can't remember what Stephanie Meyer did.
I don't know.
Something I will look up later.
Sorry. I read every other book. But the movie Breaking Dawn is fantastic.
That's a watcher.
Especially part 2. Yeah.
Okay, what else do you got?
Oh, me? Okay.
You're up, Buttercup.
Sorry. I'm getting, okay. And Darna said that signets reflect who the writer is at their core. How do you
That was
think
one of my questions.
lightning wielding reflects Violet? What signet did you find most beneficial? Which one would you want?
Whatever. I don't know. I feel like the lightning speaks to the, like I said, the willingness to overcome. And just like, she's powerful. Even though the people around her never label her as powerful. They're always calling her like fragile and stuff. She does have this like deep rooted ability to persevere.
Yes.
That's what the lightning says to me.
Right, yeah, she's set up as the underdog because she has like amazing older brother and older sister.
But then
So yeah.
yeah, then she gets a signet that no one's seen in
Yeah.
100 years.
Yeah. Well, she bonds the most powerful dragon, unbonded dragon, as well. So
Something like that.
I agree. I think that the wildness of the lightning mixed with Violet really goes together, especially because we know all of her innermost thoughts. We know that she's gonna do it no matter what. Even with Dane telling her to go to the Squad Project, even with him trying at every turn to undermine her. It's
We really hate Dane.
You know, I think that was the perfect signet for her. I think that, you know, she just needs to kind of learn how to use it a lot of the time, but she does.
Right, it is.
And, yeah, I think that was really good for her.
Which one would you want, Stephanie?
Yes.
that's tough.
It is hard. There's so many good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not the mind reading one.
I don't want that one.
That would be like that.
It's also useless. I mean, unless you're interrogating someone, it's literally useless. That's not going to help you at all if you're fighting someone.
That's true.
I want something that's going to not get me
Well,
killed.
what's really useful is being like Brennan and being a mender.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Zay's shadows are pretty cool.
Yeah.
He does a lot with them. He's very
Shadows,
controlled.
Because I think they
would-
had like common ones for fire and ice. I was
Yeah.
trying to write down, but I squirreled. I was trying to write down everyone's powers,
Oh, yeah.
but I really only got Dane, Violet, Brennan, and I just wrote Zayden down, so I totally squirreled on this. But my intention was to write down everybody's.
Write them
She
all.
fell in love with Zayden
And then it was over.
So one of them has the metal,
Oh,
can manipulate
that's
metal.
Sawyer, right? If think.
One of them.
Yeah.
Sawyer or Riddick, it's one of those two.
Yeah.
Riddick is also hilarious. I like him.
Yeah.
Yes, they're all fun. She did really well with like her background character.
But Rhiannon's is cool that she can
Yeah.
like move objects.
Oh,
That
right.
could be
Yeah.
helpful.
That's good. Yeah.
Because they talked about, I don't know if it's Iron Flame or this book, I'm getting
Oh,
confused,
shoot.
but it's not a spoiler.
Yeah.
Talked about her getting powerful enough to move herself. So
That has to be her.
Yeah. I don't think this is really.
it's like in passing, it's not like a real like discussion, but
Because the biggest thing she does in Fourth Wing is that map
yeah.
from the office.
Yeah.
So I think like the potential of Rhiannon's power, I think I'd want that.
Like, I don't think this is a spoiler, but General Sorengale can like make it storm. She can control the weather.
That was it. That was mentioned in here.
Okay.
I think that would be good. And then there's some that
that's
you-
really complementary with the lightning to have the cloud coverage.
That's
Well, now they're
true.
mortal enemies. So.
And then, oh well, I'll save that for later when we talk about Iron Flame. I had a question about that. You can't answer because you'll probably already know the answer because she's done with Iron Flame, but I don't know the answer, and neither do you. So what do you think? I want to know what your opinion is. What do you think her second signet's going to be? Because she's got 2 dragons.
Oh.
You be quiet over there.
Because the time thing is no longer a thing.
Once she's the, yeah.
Oh. Like what's Andarna gonna give her?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Only I knew. I'm on chapter 30. Am I close?
Hmm.
Am I going to find out soon?
I am redacting my comments.
She pleads the fifth.
That means you're close.
That means I'm close.
I'm kidding, I don't know. I don't know, I didn't even think about it because of the time thing. I was like,
It's
oh,
all I've thought about for days.
cool. But then they said that at the end of this book that she doesn't have
She
it
can't do it
anymore,
anymore.
so-
She's not a baby anymore.
Well, I mean, what if she grows up and like that's her cool ass power still?
I hope it is, because that was a cool ass power.
That's really, and it saved her ass so many times.
And it saved Liam once.
Not Liam.
Not my shadow, Liam. Or I guess you prefer to him as bodyguard. not
Bodyguard,
shadow.
yeah. She did call him her shadow, though.
I mean,
Yeah.
as much as I love Zayden, I still think it would have been good to see her hump Liam. Because he was right there.
It's right
He was right there. She had to save all of her sexual energy for Zayden.
Zayden.
He was right there. Okay.
Next one?
Yeah.
Okay. In chapter 37, the fable is quoted, but it was the third brother who commanded the sky to surrender its greatest power, who finally vanquished his jealous siblings at a great and terrible price. The Venin then tells her, you could command the sky to surrender all its power. What do you think the significance is that Violet's signet is commanding the sky? She herself says, I am the sky and the power of every storm that has ever been. I am infinite. Do you think it's like that fable is like, it's kind of like the Deathly Hallows, right?
Well, and I think this is like foreshadowing, and I've seen some like speculation surrounding this because there's 3 siblings, her sister, her brother, and her.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, is one of them going to be evil? And then they have to make a choice, or they have to like, you know what I mean? And so, I think because she's the main character, whatever happens, and whatever sibling it is, one or both of them, it's gonna come down to her, right? Making the choice to like utilize
So,
that power.
She has to mirror.
Do you guys remember Mira's signet?
No. Do you?
No.
Somebody got a phone.
Hey
I
Siri.
do in my hand.
Uh-huh.
She extends the wards.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Yeah, I can definitely agree that it's like the fable is like kind of like a not a like a premonition, but like a
Like a history is repeating itself
yes.
type of deal.
But if that's the case, then it's gonna be, I don't know.
But she is the only one right now that doesn't know everything.
And she's the most like her mom. Which means maybe she knows more than she lets on.
Maybe.
Like the mom. Yeah.
Right. And just is
Which
very
means she's
good
more
at
loyal.
pretending she doesn't.
She's more loyal to keeping
everything that's going on.
from everybody and like pretending that everything's fine.
Yeah.
Rather than
Well, and her power.
They're kind of
the
fucked
extending the wards thing. Like,
yes.
why wouldn't they be using that?
Yeah. So maybe it comes down to not her being like evil per se, but like her being on the wrong side.
The wrong side of things.
Brennan and Violet.
I
I mean, Brennan could easily be evil.
Has everyone fooled.
Yeah. Like him, like being like, oh, this has to be like this so we can protect these people,
Right.
just like his mom is for the other side.
Right. He's got a lot of control.
Yeah.
Just on the opposite side.
Yeah. I can see it from both ways. I've heard it both ways.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
Maybe.
We're not very far in the second book.
Maybe.
No. Anything, Stephanie?
I was just kind of looking back to see, because pretty much the fables are all truth.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
they were just
Yeah.
labeled, because the scribes have all the power, labeled them as the fables.
Mm-hmm. And kind of banned, right? Because the dad.
Yeah,
took
that
them
book
out
like
of the-
didn't exist.
Yeah.
So. It appeared that Mira and Dane both knew a lot more than Violet about the retribution Xaden swore against General Sorengale. How much more do you think they know about the reasons for the rebellion and the current war Promiel is fighting against the Venin? So we kind of touched on that. Like, do they know more?
Do
than
they know
they're-
more?
And the question was
Dane.
Mira and
Mira
Dane.
and Dane.
Well, it makes sense that Mira would know more since she's older. She would have more.
I think she knows a lot. She's
Yeah.
just good at hiding it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Dane is just a rule follower to the T, so he blindly follows authority,
Yes,
even
and
if
he
he
would
has no
her.
freaking clue what's going on.
Yes. But also, he could know what's going on because his
Yeah.
dad is the mom's
Thing.
right-hand man.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know. But also, I think it's so funny that everyone's like, oh, Xaden just wants revenge on General Sorengale. He really kind of doesn't. Like,
He's got a lot more things going
yeah,
on.
he's booked and busy elsewhere. I don't know,
Booked
like,
and
what
busy.
revenge you think he's seeking, but it's really not happening.
He could care less.
It's kind of like when I was like, oh, Violet keeps fucking saying that she's his worst enemy. Girl, he's not doing anything to tell you that. Like,
But she never stops that either.
Yeah.
Like,
She-
that's the
yeah.
frustrating part.
yeah, and I'm
And-
like, where?
Even
what?
in Iron Flame, she's like, he doesn't love me. And I'm like, are you blind?
Yeah.
You're blind.
Every year, less dragons are bonding. Do you think the Navarians' politics are at play? Do you think that they just follow the allegiances of their riders or choose riders they feel will support their cause?
I think that the dragons are very intuitive. And I think they choose people for very specific reasons. And I just feel like if they're not getting that like vibe from any of them, then they choose not to bond. Like I think they have specific things they're looking for. And if nobody meets that, then they're like, I'll wait.
Right. Well, the dragons don't answer to humans.
Yeah.
I think politics are at play because I think a lot of the dragons in the Vale are kind of like, I don't want to be in what's coming because something is going to happen.
Right.
Something is
I almost
gonna...
just said something, but I'm like,
Oh,
I can't say that.
Because I think that they know that whatever is building, because all the dragons know that there's the rebellion because
Right.
they're,
Yeah.
you know, they saved
And the
Brennan.
dragon's like governing unit is Imperion, right?
Yeah,
Imperion.
Imperian, yeah.
Yeah, so I think they kind of are like, we don't want to put ourselves in the middle of it, and we don't have to.
We're not trying to be extinct for all you guys.
And, yeah, and, you know, the fact that Taryn hadn't even thought to bond before Violet came up and saved Darna and, you know, proved herself to him, was like, I think he knew her heart even before.
Right.
He was like, he saw that and was like, this is someone I can trust, and eventually, you know, I'll have Xaden tell her. I'm not going to tell her, fuck it. But you know what I mean?
Silver
He's so Terrence, so,
And
like,
the wing leader.
toes the line of, like, not giving a fuck about anything and giving too much fucks. You know what I mean?
And I also think it's so cute that, like, he basically was like, and Darna's my wife's pet, and you protected her, so.
Yeah, she's our adopted daughter.
Yeah.
You know? He's definitely, like, the dad who didn't want the dog,
And then,
but then loves the dog.
like, really loves the dog.
Oh, ready?
Ready?
Yes? Okay. There are a few intimacy scenes throughout the story. Do you feel this was necessary to show these intense physical and emotional connection, the intense physical and emotional connection between Violet and Xaden, or did it distract from the story?
Talking to the
I think
romance
we all
bunch
know the
here.
answer. We loved it.
We loved it.
I think that it did show that intense connection that they had, and I think I needed that as a reader because I felt it was a little, I don't want to say rushed because they don't even bang until, like, they don't even kiss until, like, middle of the book. But the intense feelings that happen afterwards, for Violet especially, I feel like it's so rushed for me. But I really love that she kind of made it a point to, you know, make sure you knew that her feelings were separate from Terrence first to Gale.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, when they first kissed, that was, like,
question.
that was Xaden's issue.
Yeah.
Was that he thought it was just, you know, Terrence and Gale's love for each other that made her have those feelings for Xaden. But, you know, she made it a point for Violet to know that those feelings were there even after that stopped.
Or it
So
was
I
calmed.
really, yes,
yeah.
or was calmed, yeah. So, yeah, I enjoyed them.
Loved them, every single one of them.
They were definitely needed.
They were needed, 100% needed. And I also think because she is writing a series, they were even needed more because you're really setting up, like, a whole world beyond just Fourth Wing. And so establishing that bond in the beginning, I think, is going to be really important in carrying their relationship through the rest of this series. Yeah. I loved them. All of them.
Yeah. Because I think you had asked at the beginning, is it going to be a love triangle?
Yes. I hate love
Yeah,
triangles.
but I didn't get, because I think the second instance of Dane saying, oh, we can sneak you into the scribes, I'm like, this is not happening with this dude. Like,
Next.
But also, and it's so funny that you say that because I was like, I'm a friends to lovers girly, right? So I was really, like, counting on Dane to be that for me. And then, like, I just started getting bad vibes from Dane. And I even asked her, I was like, do we hate Dane? And she was like, yes, we hate Dane. And I'm like, okay. And that kind of really helped me get through.
Yeah. No, yes, we hate Dane. And for those of you that are like me and do not like love triangles, this is not a love triangle.
yeah.
Dane is her childhood friend, and there's a few, like, scenes here and there between them, but no,
Yeah.
she doesn't set it up at all as, like, her having to choose between them or anything like that.
Yeah, it was like her reconciling, oh, my friend, I knew, it's like, oh, we thought we were going to have something, and
Right.
then...
And we
fucking
don't, because he's
Dane.
an idiot.
But also, you know, for me, I didn't even feel like they were that good of friends. Like, it was obviously she liked him a lot more than he liked her in some parts.
Right.
And I was like, that's not really a friendship. That's like you having a crush on somebody and them not reciprocating your feelings until it's convenient for them.
Right. No, I definitely got that vibe too, because she talked about that, like,
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
whole childhood, she pictured them ending up together.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I feel like that didn't even cross this dude's mind until she was there at Bethgaiath and Xaden, and then he's like, oh, now she's interesting to me, you know?
Yeah.
Idiot.
Fuck dang. Anyway. Number 10 is Liam, crying face, no questions. May his soul be commended to Mount. And I agree.
And I agree too.
We had to, you know.
And soulless. Because it was his dragon that died.
Ugh. Yeah.
Poor Day.
So sad. Okay, anyways, okay, 11. Xaden is given the choice by Colonel Atos. You have the choice of abandoning the village of our enemy or abandoning command of your wing to test his loyalty. Since they chose to save the village, do you think any of them will be able to return to Bezgaev? And if so, how? They already know the answer to this.
You little reader.
You little readers. Well, I'm also kind of into Iron Flame too, so I kind of know. But I think that one, Colonel, whatever his name is, Atos? Is that how you say it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
He can suck it.
Yeah, we all.
They're gonna do both.
We hate him also.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we hate him. Okay. Anyways.
He's terrible.
All right. It seems like a common theme throughout the books that characters are not as they first appear. Dane is the good guy. Xaden is ruthless and out for revenge. Violet is weak. General Lilith Sorrengail appears to be heartless. However, she is one of the few people that felt Violet was capable of becoming a writer. She also objected to having the children of the betrayers be forced to watch their parents be put to death. Do you think the future books will reveal more depth to her character? What do you think her motive was for having Violet enter the writer's quadrant? This is a good question.
This is a good question.
I will not answer this question.
Oh no!
I was also thinking about the one piece of information I have of her from Iron Flame, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, how do I formulate an answer that doesn't include that?
This looks like I'm only asking questions to myself because I have not read Iron Flame.
I'm only halfway through.
I think there's a certain culture that she's a part of that makes it hard for me to figure how she's gonna be a good person. You know, I think that she is presented in Fourth Wing as somebody who doesn't really care about what her daughter wants. She's gonna be a writer no matter what. Even though she got like a couple months to train before she was able to go, after she'd been trained to be a scribe for her entire life. So it's hard for me to reconcile a lot of times how that can be turned around. Because once a person is presented to me as a bad person, and I feel like General Sorrengail is, it's hard for me to be like, oh, they're going to turn it around, and they're going
to justify.
Yes. Because for me right now, it feels like the, you know, Bezgaev and everybody on that side is kind of not great. You know what I mean? I side with the revolution, always. I'm so sorry. Watch Star Wars.
I think I can say something that's not going to spoil.
Okay.
I think she's playing chess. She's looking at the long-term...
She's in it for the long game.
Long-term big picture of it. I don't think that spoils anything because there's also more books in the series beyond Iron Flame.
Yeah.
Right. I was going to say, like, and I don't know this because, like I said, I'm only halfway through Iron Flame. Her mother's been mentioned one time so far. But I did wonder that because her, like, the question of, like, why do you think she made her a writer? I think, because of thinking about the long game. I think she put her there because if she does end up on the side of the revolution, or if she is on the side of the revolution, or however that plays out, having Violet, the mom, having Violet as a writer does more for her than having her as a scribe. Right. And so that's my guess. But like I said, she's only been mentioned one time in Iron Flame so far.
Yeah, and it also feels like she kind of is surprised that she survived.
She does seem a little surprised.
So, I don't know.
And
It's
Violet
like
mentions, like, she's like,
her.
Violet's even like, I saw like a flicker of like her being proud on my face. So I do think, I think there was like, she's like, I'm risking this.
She's risking it to get the biscuit.
Right. Risking her life, but now she's like, holy shit, she made it. And she's like, this might work, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can definitely see that. The last question is, dragons don't make mistakes. Why do you think General Melgren's dragon gifted the Separatist children a relic that would block his own rider from seeing them? Because I feel like the dragons know what's going on. So,
Yeah. Because dragons don't answer to humans. And
they can do whatever they
they
want.
do whatever they want. But I also think dragons too. They're in it for the long game. And it's
Yeah.
like they put that added layer of protection in place, not only for their riders, but for their dragon community.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would.
Because they have their own needs, their own, like, safety policies. You know what I mean?
Right.
They have their own way of protecting themselves.
Right, and so I think they did that for. And I think too, because bonded pairs, like, if the human dies, the dragon dies. And so dragons are still bonding with people that have rebellion relics. So it is like that extra layer of like protecting their person to protect their own life.
Yes.
Because they all have it out for them for having the tattoo.
Yeah. I agree. That's it. For me.
We'll be back once we finish Iron Flame.
Yes.
Hopefully we can do that one in person, because that would be
Let me
fun.
get this open. So
Dear Rebecca Yarros, even though you will not watch this video, please write your next 3 books very quickly.
I'm sorry I gave it a 3.
So I'll give this to you, Shalana. So this is a cricket paper. I found things, and most of it's Fourth Wing related. So
Prizes.
and I held it. I did not open it till just now. So we have not seen. I've seen it because I ordered it, but
Oh! If I need to, I'll sticker it.
Yeah.
Alexis is like, don't
so
show
I have to
everyone where she
see.
lives.
Yeah. I think we're too far away.
Ooh.
Aww.
I am so excited. Oh, this is a lot of bookmarks, girl.
Yeah, I got us each a set, so it's 3 different bookmarks.
Okay, I'm gonna let it focus. If it doesn't, I'll take pictures after so I can put it
Yeah,
on
so
there.
what is that? That's Sorrel Apothecary.
So cute.
It's cute.
Aww.
We get dragons.
With the famous quote on there.
Yes. Oh wow.
This one
These
is
are good
gorgeous.
quality.
Yeah.
There's our
So
tattoo.
Nice. Thank you,
Yeah.
Stephanie.
Yes, thank
Oh.
you. Oh.
Let's see. Okay, and then I have some stickers, and some of them I think are 3, and some of them they have to fight over.
Uh-oh.
I just know.
Box you right here.
That one may have been an extra. Maybe that's
Yeah.
like just.
I
the
think it's a little thank you.
Oh, the thank you. Yeah.
That's cute.
So the girl math I just got one of. That was just one I got for me. Because girl math.
Girl math, little calculator, that's cute. Okay. I want to.
Flyer.
I got 3 of that one to Taryn
Okay,
and
you gotta
Darna
hold that
Segale.
up.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got 3 of this
The
one.
3
yeah.
babies. Okay, I'm trying to see what you have. Okay, you got this one. That's
Make
cute.
my books extra
Spicy. Yeah.
It's true.
I'll have to take pictures of all of these. Okay, these we don't have to fight over. Oh, I love that quote.
What does this one say? I am the sky and the power of every storm that has ever.
I'm gonna have to buy a new water bottle just to put all these cool things on.
Okay. And I did 2 and 2 of those.
Now you have to fight, Alexis. I want to see those.
I want the library card.
Stephanie, you bought these stickers, so you get a pick.
Let me see, what do we have? Flyer
Official
die.
archives. Oh, that's really cute.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a library card.
That is
there
so cute.
for the scribes.
Okay, I get this one. You get both because you bought
Yes.
them.
Flyer die. So yeah, I think I spent like $70, but like no, absolutely no regret. So that's why I
So
started,
cute.
So that's why I started just picking 2 instead of 3 of everything because
Yeah.
the cart was
Support a small business.
filling up. But yeah,
Yes.
I love this one to Taryn. This is what I was like Googling, and this came up. I love the one that's Taryn and Darna and Segale. That's just their names.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know
it's
why.
their colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And super good quality, like Alexis
Yes,
said. I
very
will
good quality.
put the link in the description.
Girl math. It was girl math. It was free, essentially free because we needed these.
Yes.
Yes.
Girl math.
Girl math. We read the book. We earned the stickers.
Bad decisions brought to you by Girl Math.
Well, thank you guys so much for sticking it out. I hope you guys like the book club videos. Let me know in the comments if you read Fourth Wing, if you read Iron Flame, or if you plan to. Any parting remarks?
Team Zayden.
Fuck Dane.
See you guys next week.